Hello, CJ here. This time, I will be reviewing the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Bard subclass and evaluate which ones you should book for your party. In 5th edition, the Bard is actually a worthy addition to your party in and out of combat. As most 5e players would have known, they are mainly spellcasters, but they are versatile enough to be tweaked to cover a bit of every other roles. They're a bit of a wild card that way. As a dungeon master, it is pretty hard even for me to gauge the power of a bard character without looking at my player's character sheet. There is just too much possibilities with this class, with its free choice of skills and magical secret features that let it choose any spell from any spell list. At first look, some of these subclasses may seem lackluster, but with the right build, they can shine in unexpected ways. The following subclasses are from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and I'm going to kick the review off with the College of Glamour. Glamour is the archaic word for spell or magic, especially the kind used by the Fae or Elves to appear supernaturally alluring and in turn allows them to ply their victim to their will. So as the name suggests, this subclass specializes in charms and enchantments. If they were to perform for 1 minute, singing, dancing or whatever, they can attempt to charm a few of their humanoid audience members. If those selected audience members were to fail their wisdom saving throw, they would be charmed for 1 hour. And during that time, they would speak glowingly of the bard and hinder his or her opposition. I know some of you might think that this feature doesn't sound phenomenal. It's like something that can easily be replicated by spells like charm or suggestion. Why should you use this feature or subclass? Well, the devil is in the details. First, the effect doesn't require concentration. Secondly, if the glamour bard failed to charm his targets, they don't realize that the bard tried to charm them at all. So the bard can do it without raising any alarm, and that allows them to try again next time. Later on, they get Mantle of Majesty that lets them use command as bonus action for 1 minute. With this, they can potentially shut down a powerful enemy for the entire duration of the combat, while still allowing them to attack. If that enemy is already charmed by the bard, then it will automatically fail its saving throw. Imagine this scenario. The glamour bard walks into the court of an evil king, offering his service as a performer. He then proceeds to charm the king and his ministers with his enthralling performance. At the end of the performance, he asks the king to clear his court and the ministers to provide him with the best horse in the land. With the bard alone in the presence of the king, he asks his majesty to stand by the window, before proceeding to use his Mantle of Majesty to command the king to flee from him. With the king dead and the minister still under the influence, the bard is escorted safely out of the castle by fawning ministers. He then proceeds to make his escape on the back of a lightning-fast stallion, and he is never to be seen again in that kingdom. That bard is just a level 6 character. This subclass also has a very useful defensive feature. Mantle of Inspiration can be used as bonus action to provide their allies with temporary hit points and allow them to use their reaction to move up to their speed without incurring opportunity attack. It can be used to pull their allies out of trouble, or as part of a feint to clump enemies together for a massive area of effect spell. Unbreakable Majesty forces their enemies to have to succeed on their charisma saving throw before they can attack the bard. But if they succeed on their saving throw, they would have disadvantage on their saving throw from the bard spells on the bard's next turn. I think this subclass is one of the best subclasses in Xanathar's Guide. It is thematic, powerful, and really complements the base class. It makes the bard better at what they already do best. However, let's not ignore the glaring weakness here. Many of the features would not work on creatures that don't speak a language or aren't humanoids, so don't bring the glamour bard into a dungeon filled with oozes. Next up, College of Swords. This is a pretty interesting one. This subclass is inspired by dervishes, sword swallowers or sword jugglers. It is also a very simple one. The sword bard can pick one out of 2 fighting style, dueling or weapon fighting. They get extra attack, and most importantly, they get Blade Flourish. Once a turn, if they take an attack action, they can roll a bardic inspiration die to make one of the 3 flourishes: defensive, slashing or mobile. All flourishes add the result of the roll to damage, but also an extra effect. Defensive Flourish lets the bard add the result of their roll to their armor class. Slashing Flourish allows the bard to also damage creatures they choose within 5 feet of them. And Mobile Flourish lets them push their target away for 5 feet plus the result, and gives the bard the opportunity to pursue them. At higher level, the bard have unlimited use of this feature if they choose to use a d6 instead of their bardic inspiration dice. This bard is actually surprisingly defensive. Without much tweaking, the Swords bard can potentially get up to 29 armor class with their medium armor if they roll 12 for their defensive flourish. But if you min-max it, it is possible to get up to 39 armor class. This is how I would do it. Start with 17 AC from light or medium armor, roll 12 for defensive flourish, multi-class as Bladesinger to get plus 5 AC from intelligence, then another plus 5 from the shield spell, and for good measure, add blur to give your attackers disadvantage. This is just something I came up with in a few minutes. I think you can easily do better. Additionally, if they were to use the Bestow Curse or Elemental Weapon spell, they can even stand toe-to-toe with fighters in terms of damage dealing. While all this sounds great, the issue with this subclass is that for the first 8 levels, the bard need to make the hard choice between raising their dexterity or charisma first, because their most important abilities are divided into 2. They need to choose to become a better combatant or better bard first. That's a difficult choice, especially when many published adventures end at level 11. The last subclass is the College of Whispers. This is like the evil version of the College of Glamour, powered by fear and dark magic. There are many similarities between the Glamour and Whisper bards, but it has different flavor and can be used in different circumstances. Instead of charming others, they can spend 1 minute talking to a humanoid and instill fear into their target if they fail their wisdom saving throw. When a humanoid dies within 30 feet of the bard, they can steal their shadow and assume the identity of the deceased, including superficial information such as their background and personal life. They also get bonus to their deception skill against others trying to see through the disguise. They can also use their Shadow Lore feature to gain power over another creature by creating the illusion that they know their victim's deepest fear. If that creature fails its wisdom saving throw, it is charmed for the next 8 hours and will obey the bard's command for the fear that its secrets will be revealed. Additionally, they get the Psychic Blade feature that lets them expand their bardic inspiration dice when they successfully hit an enemy with their weapon attack to cause 2d6 of psychic damage to their target. This damage will increase at high level, reaching the maximum of 8d6 at level 15. This damage output is nearly as powerful as the rogue sneak attack, but without the same restrictions. The psychic damage type is pretty great too, because it is one of the least resisted damage type out there. However, like the Swords bard, the Whispers bard is also faced with the dilemma of having to decide whether it should be a better bard or better combatant first, since their attack and bardic features rely on different abilities. Then again, combat bards have always had the problem of starting slow. So, what do you think of these subclasses? Obviously, the Glamour bard is my favorite, but the others are also pretty great if you can get past their slow start. Then again, with bards being such wildcard, you don't know what's possible. Multi-classing as a Hexblade Warlock is a quick and dirty solution to this, but it might not fit your character concept. Alright, that's it for the subclass review. If you are new here, please subscribe and press the bell button so that you will be notified when new videos like this are published. If you like Dungeons & Dragons, check out other videos in the channel. CJ, over and out.